Ooh, what's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarouche.
And this is our spoiler-free review of Jungle Cruise, the new film based on the ride, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Emily Blunt. We get Nerdy Nightly.
And we thought we'd share it with you.
Insert dad joke here.
Yeah, that should be the subtitle of the what's the second header?
Jungle Cruise dad jokes. Here's the thing. So Jungle Cruise takes from the tradition of the ride itself.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is based on a ride at Disney, like previous Disney films, Haunted Mansion, which is not great, and Pirates of the Caribbean, which is great. The first one. And there's one more. There's another one, right? Oh, Tomorrowland?
Oh.
The George Clooney movie.
Yeah.
Tomorrowland,
Yeah,
which was fine.
I didn't see it.
It's like right in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, love Eddie Murphy. Haunted Mansion, it's not a great movie. But this movie is...
It's great.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's like, I would say it's not quite Pirates of the Caribbean level. Like, I didn't love it in the same way that I, adored that movie when it came out. But I had a really fun time watching this. I enjoyed it. There was some great stuff in it. The CGI looked really good. The effects, the stunt stuff. Overall, really solid movie.
Yeah, I was saying that it takes from the ride that it's based on. In fact, it takes some of the jokes directly from that ride. And our lead character, one of our two lead characters, because there are dueling leads in this movie. I think Emily Blunt is the real character as Dr. Houghton. And then we have our co-lead who is Frank, played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, a mysterious river skipper.
Yeah.
In a very old-timey way. They're both really fun. I thought their chemistry was really excellent. But Frank, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's character, really brings that dad style of humor that you might be familiar with if you're familiar with the ride. And it was really just a charming introduction to his character. We get introduced to Emily Blunt character and her brother first, and then we get to meet our charming river skipper. And it was nice to have some of those touchstones from the ride be brought into the movie. As much as I love the Pirates of the Caribbean film, it is based on the ride in that it is called Pirates of the Caribbean, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And obviously now they've incorporated parts of the ride, or parts of the movie back into the ride.
Yeah.
But in this, they do have at least some elements from the actual Jungle Cruise. We meet Frank while he's giving a jungle cruise with a fake hippopotamus and things from the trailer that you've probably already seen that are from the actual ride at Disney. And I appreciated that. It was for a movie that is very untouched by IP and very unconnected from everything around it, I thought that having those touchstones that did actually have a bit of nostalgia at the beginning of the film to going to Disney as a kid, I thought that was a really smart way to bring us into the movie and to endear us to Frank, a character who's maybe, a little bit of a scallywag, but, you kind of fall in love with him because he has a lot of charm, he has a lot of heart right from the outset.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to touch on what you said. This movie was refreshing because it was its own thing.
Yeah.
Everything right now is a remake or a part of a franchise or a sequel or a prequel, you know what I mean? And this was just its own thing. It definitely feels like it belongs in the Pirates of the Caribbean universe, That's like the kind of world that it is. There's magic. Obviously, if you've seen the trailers, you know that. And so it was really just a breath of fresh air to go to a movie and it be its own thing and not related to a bunch of other stuff, or trying to do fan service or trying to set up something or blah, 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 blah. It was nice. It was really, really nice. And I have to say, I did not realize how, franchise fatigued I was. I don't know if that's, a term.
Yeah,
but,
100%.
So many movies that have come out and that we've seen, they're connected to all this other stuff. And
I think it's especially, I think it's been especially glaring in the last few films that we've seen because let's just go through them. We watched Black Widow, which is literally a prequel it's not even a prequel though. It is a mid-franchise film that we've seen how the character, the end of that character, right? Yep. We watched Fast 9, which is the 10th film in the Fast franchise, but it has characters that we haven't seen since the 3rd episode of that franchise who are rocket scientists now. And it has characters from, you know what I mean? Like, Fast 9, as much as I think we both enjoyed it and we enjoyed watching it.
It's so dumb.
But it also just had, like, if you haven't seen the entire Fast franchise, there are people who just show up for no reason, right?
Yeah, like, okay.
And we also watched Snake Eyes, which was the first movie in a franchise, a hopeful franchise, but was so loaded with the worst parts of that movie, honestly, were... Well, actually, no. They were some of the best parts of the movie. I take that back. But there was just a lot of almost unnecessary setup for other films that we might never see. Snake Eyes in that way reminded me of the Tom Cruise Mummy movie from a couple years ago that was trying so hard to set up the dark universe. That dark universe, oh boy, did they brand it. But it never came out because if you spend your entire first movie so focused on building out these other movies... It never goes anywhere because it's not a good movie.
Yeah.
What's weird about this movie is that I could see them building a franchise off of this movie because it doesn't focus on doing that. There's nothing in here that's trying to lay the groundwork for some larger universe. It is a really self-contained story, much to its effect. I loved that we got a full structure, a full arc. I feel like a lot of our characters got an arc. And I don't know. I thought that was a strength of the movie that... kept me engaged in a way that I wasn't expecting. I didn't have high hopes for this. Yeah. I was like, Jungle Cruise, all right. The ride's not my favorite ride.
It'll be fine.
But I love Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I love Emily Blunt. And the energy the two of them bring together is really fantastic.
And also her brother was fantastic.
Yeah, we do need to talk about that, though. Because it is interesting. There is a reveal in the movie that is not a spoiler for anything related to the film, but it is a spoiler for a conversation in the film.
Yeah, so skip ahead about 60 seconds.
Or don't. This isn't a spoiler, but the character is a gay man. He's very explicitly gay. I was reading an article. That's what I was Googling a second ago, because I wanted to make sure something, when you were talking and I was Googling, I wanted to make sure of something before we talked about it, because it is a conversation. But their article's saying that it's a blink and you'll miss it scene. It's not.
It's not.
It's very clear.
Very like, this is it, and then they're like, okay.
Yeah, especially considering this conversation is ostensibly happening in the middle of World War I. But Jack Whitehall is not a gay man. And this movie is facing some backlash because he is essentially the first, like, openly gay character in a Disney movie, in a major Disney movie. And he is played by a straight white man. And there is a conversation about that. And I just feel like it has to be acknowledged. I think that in his portrayal of the character, I think Jack Whitehall did a good job. Yeah. And I actually really enjoyed the character. I liked the arc of that character, and I enjoyed the way that it was used. I thought Jack Whitehall did his job.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Don't maybe know that he was the best person for that exposure. And for exposing that community in this way to the larger Disney audience. And you know, that's a conversation that's going to be had by people far smarter and you know, more deeply rooted in that community than I think I am. But no, but I wanted to acknowledge it because
no, for sure. Okay. This isn't the time or place to get into it, I don't think. But
we are 9 minutes into this though, and we have not spoken about the plot at all.
No,
we've just said it's a good movie.
Yeah. We both really enjoyed it. It starts off like kind of hits the ground running. It doesn't really slow down. I didn't ever feel like it was like lagging, or I was like.
No, even the like necessary like exposition slow moment in the middle happens in a exciting way. We don't want to talk spoilers. We're not even going to do a spoiler chat for. It's hard to spoil something that's not going to connect to anything else. Yeah. There's not really a reason to do a spoiler chat for this, but we should acknowledge the plot is essentially that Emily Blunt is a British high society lady who wears pants, and the movie will not let you forget that she's wearing pants.
They call her pants many times.
That's cute. When Dwayne The Rock Johnson calls her pant, it's cute. It's when the like other when there are other characters in the movie who refer to her as the lady who wears pants every time they talk about her. Yeah. And you're like,
Jesus
She's
Christ.
the only woman. She's literally the only woman in these scenes. They could have just said the woman, but they express it like, but the woman who wears pants.
Yeah, and
like,
then she's like,
there are no other women. Why are you?
yeah.
But Paul Giamatti appears. He's fun. He collected a paycheck. This was not a lot of work for Paul Giamatti, but it's just always fun to see him in a movie. Mm-hmm. We have, oh my gosh, from Breaking Bad.
Oh, didn't see it.
Jesse Plemons. I'm so glad I remembered. He's also fantastic in Date Night. He shows up as a German prince who is attempting to steal the movie's MacGuffin for the German Empire so that they can win World War I. And then there are other characters that are spoilers, kind of. They're in the trailers, but we're not going to talk about them here. I thought the mixture of villains, or not all villains, I wouldn't necessarily call Paul Giamatti's character a villain in the piece, but the mixture of antagonists to the plot were a variety of different levels of danger, and because of that, it was fun.
Yeah, the movie, like, I kind of kept plugging along, and I will say that despite being a Disney movie, it is a little scarier.
There are a lot of jump scares.
There's a lot of jump scares, and there's some, like, almost body horror. Like,
not almost. There's full-on body horror.
Yeah, like, I was kind of just like, wow, Disney, okay.
I would not take someone under 13. Like, usually PG-13, I'm like, is it really for 13-year-olds and up? This is, like, a mature 13 and up.
Yeah. If your 12-year-old doesn't mind some scary movies, then take them. But, like, I wouldn't take my 7-year-old or something. It was a little scary, a little freaky at some points.
Also, if you're scared of snakes or spiders, I wouldn't watch this movie.
Yeah.
I straight up just would avoid not even, like, close your eyes for a couple of moments. I'm talking about, like, the majority of the film. If you do not like snakes and you do not like spiders...
the spiders were, like, few and far between parts, but the snakes are very prominent.
No, but the spiders are sudden and
True.
Up, like, very, very, like, full screen up close shots.
Yeah, I didn't love that.
And I'm only saying that because I know that there are people who are absolutely deathly afraid of spiders. Mm-hmm. And, like, there is one spider shot in this movie that will scare the... It
comes out of nowhere.
It's a jump scare that got me, but then I'm fine. It's a spider. I like spiders. I'm the guy who, like, if a tarantula crawls up my arm, I'm fine with it, right? If you are really scared of spiders, do not watch Jungle Cruise.
Yeah.
I liked this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think that people should watch it. I don't think you should watch it in 3D. We'll talk about that in one sec. But if you don't like spiders, don't watch this movie. It will freak you out.
I did. There were a couple moments where I was like, oh, good Lord. Like, I don't.
And snakes, too. There's a lot of snakes in this
movie.
There's
a lot of snakes.
Yeah. And there's a lot of snakes, like, snapping at the camera.
And, like, jumping out at you.
Yeah.
So we went and saw the movie in 3D. Wouldn't recommend that. I don't love 3D in general. It was kind of the only time slot that we could see it for opening and to get this review out. I find that the 3D makes it a little dark and muddy.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think the visuals were hindered a lot by it.
Because there's elements of this, like, I think this film is shot really well.
Yeah.
I think the cinematography, there was one moment later in the film when they go to a new area, that's the non-spoiler version, where I turned to her and I was like, this is really beautiful. Like, there are some really, like, stunning shots. Some of the way they shoot the jungle is really beautiful. Mm-hmm. But in 3D, some of it gets a little dark.
Yeah.
Even in, like, lit rooms sometimes, it's very, I would stay away from 3D for this.
Yeah. That was my one regret, because I think I would have enjoyed the visuals more without the 3D element to it.
Yeah. Overall, I would say this is a really fun buddy comedy on a river with Emily Blunt and Dwayne The Rock Johnson just crushing it the whole time.
Yeah, there's, like, some silly, fun stuff. It's fantastical, but it's not stupid.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, like, Fast 9 stupid, where you're like, what the absolute F am I watching?
We're never gonna get over that.
I'm never gonna get over it. I'm still in shock. I don't know how to deal with it. But this movie, well done. I enjoyed it. I would definitely recommend seeing it.
Here's the thing. I would watch this again.
Yeah.
I would watch it in theaters again. But if we were home and we wanted to, like, put on something fun and, like, have a drink and, like, I would watch this movie again.
Yep.
which is more than I can say for like most like of these live action Disney interpolations.
Yeah, yeah.
They're fun once. This one I was like, oh no, I would watch, and honestly, I would watch a sequel. I don't know, this is a very contained story. This has a really solid like beginning, middle, end. So I don't know what the sequel would be about, but
don't do a sequel. Just let a thing be a good thing by itself.
Yeah, honestly, make a sequel that's just Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Emily Blunt in a different movie together.
Yeah,
because they were great.
Yeah,
their chemistry is awesome.
Put them in another action adventure movie, and I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were gonna like this movie.
Yeah, I was a little like, the trailers were fine, they were fun, but I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be like my thing.
Well, and
I enjoyed it.
We had talked about how the trailers had like this gimmick of like there's the Dwayne The Rock Johnson trailer and the Emily Blunt trailer, and it felt like they were so focused on that the trailers didn't focus very much on the movie.
Yeah.
And I kind of am realizing now that it's because a lot of the best parts of the movie are jokes.
Okay.
And so if they had put them in the trailers, and spoilers.
Yeah.
And there's a twist in this movie that you don't want spoiled.
Yeah.
So I think that in one of our trailer reactions I had said, no one ever saw that trailer reaction because Disney blocked it.
Disney blocked.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We put out we did a trailer reaction and Disney blocked that trailer reaction for some reason worldwide. So you didn't see this trailer reaction. But my response was they're so focused on this gimmick that is the movie bad, and they're trying to market a gimmick because there's nothing in the movie to sell. Yeah. And what I was realizing was they were trying not to spoil some really enjoyable things within the movie, and I actually really appreciated that because I went in not knowing what the hell this was going to be. And I had a good time.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. Well done.
Yeah, if you want to go see Jungle Cruise, it is in theaters now. It is in 3D in some theaters. I would avoid that. Yeah. Don't wear the glasses unless you have to wear your own glasses because you're visually impaired in some way.
Okay.
If you like this video,
yes, wear your glasses so you can enjoy it.
But if you need to wear glasses, just don't wear 3D glasses, but wear your glasses.
Okay.
Or maybe your vision is so good that you have to have glasses to impair it so that you can watch like normal things. You know what I mean?
No.
Like.
But there's definitely a story idea in there somewhere.
Well, no, but like, what if like what if Superman's vision was so good that like he could like he needed glasses? I don't know where I'm going with this.
You tried, and like honestly, I gotta give you A for effort. A for effort. But please like this video, leave some comments below. Let us know if you're gonna go see the movie, and if you saw it, what you thought of it.
Be mean to me for my
if you don't like us, if you thought that was absolutely terrible, let us also know in the comments and dislike the video because the algorithm god is hungry and we must feed her.
Hey, I usually say that.
I know.
You can follow us over on Twitch. I'm over at twitch.tv/nerdynightly.
I'm over at twitch.tv/ClaraStrakaris.
Spellings above our heads. And as always, y'all, my name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
Do something nerdy tonight. Bye.
Bye.